It's called a 5-word review. And this review was actually requested by someone who was a huge fan of this movie. And I hate to disappoint, of course, but I'm just going to say right now, I did not like Moon. It opens up, and you get the very strong feeling that this is an indie movie. And that's because the special effects are nothing great. They're not terrible, but it's very obvious that, you know, they were just kind of thrown in there on like Final Cut, and not with any real professional special effects team or software. And I'm not going to hold that against the movie, though. Indie movies, I think, indie movies that are trying to focus on their characters and the story rather than the special effects, that have special effects in them, you should never hold the special effects against them, because that's just the indie movie budget right there. I saw this with Mo Blah Blah and my friend Donald, and after it got over, I felt very, I didn't really know how to describe myself, but something felt wrong, something felt off, and it was a feeling that I don't think, or at least that I can never recall I've ever had with another movie. And Justin, Blah Blah Blah, put it very well as to say that he felt the same way. He said empty. And I think that's exactly how I felt. This movie just felt empty. And I think I had a ton of high expectations going into this because a lot of my friends had seen this and they were praising it and telling me, go see this, you know, because they'll know I make 5-word reviews and stuff. You're going to love this movie. And it's a great concept, but it feels so empty. A good example of this is that when, and this is going to be spoiler alert right here, when the main character meets his clone for the first time, or I mean, what turns out to be the two clones, you know, meeting each other for the first time, their reactions are so melodramatic. I mean, if you had just found out that you had another clone on this earth and you accidentally run into each other, or a twin, let's say, and you run into each other, your reaction wouldn't be, hey, wanna shake my hand? You're my clone. No, you're my clone. No, you're my clone. Instead of focusing on the fact that that the two clones even have a clone, they focus on which one of them is real. Now that's something that you're obviously going to get to eventually. If neither of you know which one of you is the real person, that's a controversial topic that is going to come up. But they totally skip the introductory phase, which would have been, oh my god, I have a clone. And at that point, the shock value from the fact that he even has a clone really never comes, because the character never feels excited, even remotely put off by the fact that he has a clone. The clone is just there, and he's like, okay. The first half of the movie, I will say, was great. I really loved it. I was really interested. Me and the other guys were asking a lot of questions, saying, "What if this happens? What if this is what's going on?" And then the second half, I say, after the clone is introduced, or the other clone is introduced, everything just goes into melodrama. And I think another good part of that is the fact that this is an indie flick. With an indie flick, something you can't do is have a ton of overdrama. Because with overdrama, you're going to need a lot of the time you're going to need big sets, big special effects, and a lot of characters. Now, I'm not saying, I mean, you can have a really brilliant argument scene between two people, which there are a couple in here, but those argument scenes feel very awkward. Again, it's that feeling of emptiness. That is this really how people would argue? Like, it's just hard to describe, because the way that they act, their body motions, their facial expressions, and what they do while they're arguing with each other, it feels like 2 3-year-olds arguing. It feels like it doesn't actually matter, and nothing is really at stake. So the point I was getting at with overdrama, with good overdrama, unless it's between two characters, what you're going to need is a big budget. And this movie, obviously going for, as it did go for the argument phase, the doable over drama, it also tried to do the undoable over drama. Like the ending, when one of the clones stays behind and the other one is leaving. I felt like that was supposed to be some kind of thriller escape scene, but when you look at it, that space station was so goddamn easy to escape from. All he did was open up a panel, slide himself in it, and then he was gone. And he went to Earth. That's it. The whole movie was building up to that? The entire 3-hour movie, we get the idea that there's this guy, until we're proven wrong, there's this guy who has a family down on Earth, and he hasn't seen them for like 3 years or something, and he's scheduled to go back to Earth in 2 weeks. And then in the end, instead of having, some chase scene or some genuine escape scene, he just gets you into a little shaft. And that's it. Movie's over. Now, I don't know if I can really call this movie bad, because it is a great concept. And the robot, the AI, or whatever, inside the ship, I thought was a really great addition, and a really original take on it, because, AI is either going to be straight-laced or psychotic these days. But this one was an AI with genuine emotion, and I thought that was, he was a great, back in between the main character and preventing him from being lonely. So I'm not going to call this movie bad. It just felt slow to me. It dragged on. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Basically, what I said about those couple scenes, I felt throughout the majority of the movie. Everything felt either dulled down, like exceptionally dulled down, more than it should have been, or like they were trying to go for over-drama when they didn't have the budget to do over-drama. So my 5 words for Moon would have to be melodramatic, slow, anticlimactic, empty, but it was a good concept. It was just I suppose it was just a poor execution overall. I don't know if it was the casting fault, or the writer's fault, or the director's fault, but that lead actor was very, not good. And seeing as how he was the only actor in the movie, that was probably why it fell off to me, because I didn't think he was very good. So Moon, I'm not going to tell you guys not to see it, maybe because I've heard a lot of people say they love it. I certainly did not like it, but be your own judge. I always encourage you guys to, go see movies, even if I hate them, and tell me what you think. So I'm going to send this to my friend, and see what he has to say about what I had to say. So, have a good day. I have 2 more reviews coming out very soon.